So I'd like to welcome you to Math and Children's Literature Eat, Play, Explore. I know we just finished having lunch a moment ago, but if you are interested in having a snack, Arlene and Lisa and I think Malia are in back at our station, and they'd be happy to have you jump in and begin with one of our very first activities, which is to make yourself a snack based upon the book called Pretend Soup. My name is Carolyn Pfister. I work for the California State Board of Education, and I'm a member of the Early Math Project. I'm a former middle school and elementary math teacher, and that's what brings me here today. I'm joined by my colleagues. Let me have them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, I'm Lisa Grant, and I work for the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools on early math, and I'm a former math teacher and an instructional coach.
Hi, my name is Malia Gonsalves. I also work at the California State Board of Education. I do field testing and design for the Early Math Project.
Hello, everyone. My name is Arlene Sherchan, and I am a student at the University of California, Berkeley. And I'm also an intern at the State Board of Education's office, and I work with the Early Math Project.
So let me just give you a little bit of information about who the Early Math Project is. We have been around since 2015. We started with a technical assistance support grant from the National Governors Association, and the charge that they gave us was to find and build partners to advance early math, and also to look for people who would support it and build awareness about the importance of early math. So that's what brought us to you here today.
So the Early Math Project maintains a website, and the site provides information on children's mathematical development and math activities that can be used at home, at school, or at care centers. There are also resources for parents, teachers, and caregivers. The website is earlymathca.org. All of the activities and book reviews that you will see today are available on our website, so you can go on and download anything that you need. We also are active on social media and routinely share information about early math and resources, so you can also follow us on Twitter. That's earlymathca, and you can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. The Early Math Project promotes awareness of the importance of early math for all children, birth through age 8. We want to highlight the math found in everyday activities such as shopping, reading, and cooking. The resources we develop help you do just that, and they are free or use free or very low-cost, easily accessible materials. Many of the resources we develop connect children's literature with mathematics. Our book reviews highlight math concepts found within children's literature books. The reviews also come with associated activities that incorporate the concepts found within the books.
When the EMP, the Early Math Project, reads books, we consider that they fall into one of three categories. They do, if you could see them. So the first one is, for example, Goodnight Gorilla, which we show here in Spanish. These type of books have a really engaging plot, but they have no direct or obvious connections to mathematics. The second type, like Alexander, who used to be rich last Sunday, does have obvious connections to mathematics, and it does have a great storyline. There's a third type that are more just mathematics, more textbook-like. We don't review those. We tend to focus on the first two types. So Goodnight Gorilla is the story of a mischievous gorilla in a zoo. How many of you know this story already? Oh, I don't have to tell you then. I love this story. How about Alexander? Do you all know that one too? Alexander is a young boy who gets $1 from his grandparents on a Sunday. And by Tuesday, he's managed to spend all of it on various items. And so this is a really good story, and it also has great connections to math, including coin recognition and adding money and subtracting. and the value of saving. And that's you.
So the EMP team feels that there are some pretty important reasons to pair math and children's literature. One of the ways that we think that is so critical is that it's a very comfortable and familiar way for adults and children to look at how math is used by a variety of people in many different situations. And promoting the conversations that come out of reading those, you look at routines and what children can do, in their daily activities. It's a good jumping off point to build mathematical understanding. We also think that it's something that people feel pretty comfortable with doing. How many of you read to either your children or your grandchildren or your students? Yeah. What we also know is that although most of us are pretty comfortable with reading, that there's a lot less comfort, unfortunately, around doing mathematical activities for many people. And so building on a strength, reading a storybook, something that is engaging to a child, helps build confidence and helps students master those ideas. It also helps with language development. A lot of positional words can be built upon in stories, discussions about shapes. All of those types of things have natural connections to children's literature. We took the book A Chair for My Mother, which is a story about a little girl who has lost her home in a fire, which is pretty relevant for what's been going on in California for the last couple of years. And the child and her mother relocate to a new home where they lack a comfortable chair. So they're saving money to buy one. The related activity that the Early Math Project team that came up with for this book is a game that we're going to play with all of you today. You have red cups on your tables, and this is a game, and all of the materials for playing that game are inside that cup. It is a game that can be played between 2 and 4 people, so what I'd like you to do is grab a partner, or 2 or 3, and let me talk you through the directions for this. Let me look at my notes so I don't steer you wrong. So this is a pretty simple game. If you are, by the way, tuned in and listening to us on the live cast, if you have a pocket of change and a way to generate numbers randomly between 1 and 6, you can do this with us. So you're going to roll a dice, and you are going to consult the outcomes chart that you can see up there, and that's going to tell you what you're able to do. If you roll a 1 or a 6 in the game, you should not be happy, because if you roll a 6, your turn is over. If you roll a 1, you should be really unhappy, because not only is your turn over, but you have lost all of the money that you have earned in that turn. It goes right back to the pot, you surrender it. So it's kind of important to count along and make certain that you keep the money that you're earning in each turn separate. As you roll the dice, for example, if you were to roll a 5, you would pick up a quarter out of the pile, and you would pull it over next to you, and you would announce, I've got 25 cents. If you say were to roll another dice, and by the way, you don't have to roll again. You could be pretty happy with your quarter and say, no, I'm staying here, no more. Or if you're a little bit more of a risk taker, you could roll it again. You might be lucky, you might get another quarter, but you might get a 1 and have to surrender the quarter. So supposing I roll a 4, I'm going to then add my dime to my quarter, and I'm going to announce that I have 35 cents. If I want to hold, I put them aside, and I'm going to give the dice to my opponents, and they're going to have a turn. The first person that has 100 cents is the winner of this game. So, there's some probability to consider here. When should you hold? When should you keep on going? So we're going to take a few minutes. We're going to play this with you. If you have questions, we want to come around and clarify it, so just put up a hand and we will be there. Move tables if you need more partners. Let's go. So if you were the first at your table to reach 100 cents, I'm seeing a few of you feeling pretty victorious about getting that dollar. So if I could call you back again for a moment, because we really want to make certain you have some time to play a lot of things. You're welcome to continue playing this also. But before we move on to our next whole group activity, what type of skills and math did you practice when you were playing that game? Okay, I heard counting. Any other skills, any other mathematical skills that you think that game highlights? What? Adding money, subtracting money. You know, I want to hand the mic to you because this is good. Do you mind?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. I said I think a lot of mathematical reasoning, because when you're getting close to 100, you're thinking, well, should I go ahead and take the gamble, as we put it, to roll again, and I could take the chance of, not figuring it out right and going over or whatever.
Thank you. You're welcome. Any other math that you would like to call out that you practiced while we were doing that? Okay. Probability. Good. Good. Hold on. Do you want to speak or do you want to? Okay.
Organizing too, because, I'm very visual, so I like my quarters together and my pennies, and so organizing things, too also helps.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Lisa, and she is going to tell you about a game that we came up with for a book called Clean Up, Up, Up.
Okay, I know it's hard to tear yourselves away, but if you could put the stuff back in the red cup and put that aside, we're going to play a different game, and then you'll have a chance to play some more games after this little bit. So Clean Up, Up, Up is the story of a father and his little one cleaning up before dinner. We saw an opportunity to bring out the spatial relationships and play with prepositions. Those are those words you can do to a cloud. You can be beside a cloud, inside a cloud, in front of a cloud. Those are prepositions, so spatial relationships. This is an activity for 2 people. You have a set of 3 clear plastic cups. Carolyn will be my Vanna. You have an action figure. In this case, I believe it's an anteater. Ours is. You might have a different animal. And a stack of word cards. You want to decide who goes first, and that person will draw a card and place the action figure in relation to the cups according to the word on the card. So, for example, if she drew the word above, she could place the action figure above the cups, and she's going to get creative on us. Above.
Ooh, the tallest above you can make.
Is it? How else could you show above, Carolyn? Oh. So you want to try to get creative with these prepositions. So once you've done it, you want to see if your partner can come up with another interpretation of your preposition. You want to alternate turns, and we'll play for a few minutes. Let's play under, below, beside. For our online audience, if you want to play along, these are the things that you need to have and a list of suggested words.
So just behind me are 13 activity stations. These activity stations reflect the 13, reflect what is available on the Early Math Project website. At each station, you will find a children's literature book, an associated book review, and one or more math-related activities that correspond to the characters or the stories. In just a moment, we will break so that you'll have the opportunity to try all of these out. If you would like to leave any feedback on any of the activities, if you have a recommendation on a book or a suggestion for an activity for us to do, please let us know. So before we get started, this note-taking guide, this booklet will be your note-taking guide. As you explore the books and activities, think about how you would use them with your students in your classrooms. What adaptations might you need to make? And remember that everything you see here is available on the website, so you'll only need to make note of which books you would want to try with your students. Yeah. Oh, so it will be available on the website. So the remainder of this session will be your opportunity to explore. So please try as many of the activities as you like. You're welcome to take them back to your tables. We only ask that once you finish with them, that you return them so that others have the opportunity to try them out. Amongst these 13 activities, you'll have the opportunity to do things like build a bed, design a roller coaster, or create a tanagram dog. Please feel free to take pictures. If you do, don't forget to use the hashtag EMSymp19 and go eat, play, and explore.
Us. I cannot tell you how much we I want to thank you so much for joining us. We are kind of coming up to the end of our time together. If you would like to get a hold of me or Lisa, Arlene, or Malia, our contact information is up there. I truly mean what I'm about to say. We value what you do more than you could possibly imagine. And we love children's literature, and we love the idea that teachers are going to use this for families, for math nights, for stations. And if you have a book that you know of and you want some activities, let us know. We will do our level best to make that happen. We've committed to reviewing about 80 more books over the next 18 months. And so when I say if you have a book title, let us know about it, I really mean that. It may be that that would be one of the 80 that we will be focusing on in the future. If you could help us out as you leave the room by putting back anything that kind of belongs back over the table, we'd appreciate that, and I know our next person in this breakout room would appreciate it too. Thank you all. You are our heroes.